Welcome to BondSTX. This is Lance, the Bargain Stock Bounty Hunter. This is where X marks the spot to get you on the top. This is week 6, February 6th through February 10th. And I've got Dash joining me today. We're going to go through some great plays of the week. And so starting out, this is my scan database where I actually scan a lot of stocks over the weekend. So if you're new to the channel, I track trend, I'm pulling true value, and find the great price that I recommend getting into. And so normally start off with looking at the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange. And so let's take a look at the NASDAQ first off and zoom out real quick, 1 year, 1 day. And so as I called out a couple weeks ago, pretty confident that this one was going to cross over the 180-day SMA. We saw that happen. And so looking at last week, looks like the market's starting to turn back around. It's getting, it's actually in where the price wants to be, which is where I call the cake value, which is the purple line here. So it's at the lower band at this moment. It did go quite a bit higher than I expected to go last week. We do see the alligator, which is the green, red, and blue, which is the indicator I use, which is the Williams alligator. Do see that really opening up. So there's a lot of opportunity for this one to pull back. So I do expect by Friday, this one to be somewhere right around this cake band, around 11,702 to 11,894 by Friday. MACD starting to get a little bit tighter here. Momentum starting to pull down just a hair. I think there's a lot of room for a pullback here. So I wouldn't be too surprised of a pullback this week, knowing that there's a State of the Union report, I believe on Tuesday, and there's an employment announcement on Thursday. So wouldn't be surprised for a little bit of a pullback. Looking at the NASDAQ, moving on to the New York Stock Exchange, zooming out, 1 year, 1 day. We see that this one has really been pricing where it really wants to be. I still think there's some room for some pullback here. It is kind of resisting off this top cake band, which I'm pulling from a year back, and see a little bit of pullback on the MACD. And the momentum doesn't look like a true pullback, but see a little bit of a dip up on the MACD. I'm sorry, on the momentum. So this one looks like it's wanting to pull flat. So you can kind of see the MACD wanting to kind of pull flat. Again, the momentum's kind of ticking up a little bit, but looks like it ultimately wants to pull flat. We do see a little support here on the top of the Williams alligator. And so we do see a little bit more support here last week on that as well. And so it looks like it wants to come back down and pull down into that zone below the cake band here. So this is the top of the cake band. Again, it's resisting here, looks like. And so I expect by Friday, somewhere around 15,851 to 16,068. It's just a little bit of a pullback, which makes it a great opportunity to get in to some great stocks. So that's where we want to get into the plays of the week this week. And so I see a lot of stocks moving really strong coming into this week, going into this week. And so I'm going to go down quite a bit to the first one on the list is Bill. So Bill comes in at a trend of a 4. It's a pretty good trend, $14.20 on sale at a true value of 108.71. So let's look at Bill on the charts and show you what I'm looking at here, what I'm liking on Bill. Never called this stock out before. This is a PayPal style stock, so automatic payments, very similar to PayPal, so be a competitor to them. So let's look at a 1 year, 1 day real quick. So this one hit a high of 262.17 back on February 15th. And then we see, again, it's way over the cake band here. So this is where we don't want to buy stocks. We see it pull right back down, resist on the 180-day SMA, and got beat up pretty bad. And it came to a low of 89.87 back on May 11th. And then since then, we've seen this one pull right back up into to to attack what I call the 180-day SMA. Came right into the cake zone here. So it came right to where it wanted to be. Then we saw it resist this 180-day SMA, come down and almost come down to cover this the manipulation back here on 89.87. I came very close to that. And then we see it pull right back up and try to attack the SMA again as of this last week. And so we see they had earnings report last week on the 2nd, and they actually beat earnings quite a bit, estimated of 88 cents on the loss, but they actually made 42 cents per share. And we see the next day, a lot of volume come in, a lot of manipulation, 21 million shares, pulled this stock price down, and great opportunity for this one to get in this week at a cheap price. We see the momentum strong down. Looks like it's coming on support for the momentum. See the MACD starting to pull back some. I think with the manipulation here, I think a short day trade on this one at 91.82 is a great price point for me. And I think by Friday, potentially, you can get back some money from this one, anywhere between 103.41, which is about 12%, to about 110.14, which is about 19.6%. So a lot of manipulation here. We see again it resisted on the 180-day SMA. This is where we know it wants to be, and it's actually on a way kind of a -1 on the month. So definitely some opportunity for this one to pull back up, and definitely cover this manipulation from Friday. So that's my call out for Bill this week is 91.82. That's what your call out for Bill this week.
For me, I just got 90 even.
Okay, 90 even.
Not too much thought into it, just playing off the lows.
Okay. You think it'll come down to 90 this week? Opportunity.
I think it's possible. I don't see why it wouldn't, but if it come down to 90, my first target would be at 103, 103.61. That'll probably be a way out where I would start trimming my position a little bit.
103. Okay.
That's roughly like 10%. Well, 10% from 90. Well, a little bit more than 10%, excuse me.
Sounds good. Ever bought any Bill before?
This is my first time actually hearing about it.
Okay. Hey, me too, bro. Hey, when I scanned it, I was like, oh, okay. All right. I looked at it. Got a little potential here. So, all right. So we'll see. I'll put my alert at that price, and we'll see where it turns out this week. All right. Next on the list, Advanced Auto Parts comes in at a trend of a 2, a slight trend up at a 47 cents overpriced, true value of 151.70. So called out Advanced Auto Parts right before the holidays. I don't know if you were on that call with me or not, Daz. I don't think you were. I don't see your price point on here. So I'm not going to go through the year over year on Advances. I just recently called it out. But they called out at 149.45. It came down to price. Looks like Monday, Tuesday, fell below that week. Definitely did not hold any support. Came down to a low of 138.52. It turned profit. Looks like about 29 days, 2.89%. So looking at if you're holding it today at 152, if you're still holding at 152, looking at about 140, 1.79%. So it's had a nice little progression since the low of 138.52. Definitely has some opportunity. It does have an earnings report next week, so something to be aware of. I do see a nice little pullback opportunity here. MACD is pretty much flat here, but it actually looks like it wants to turn green here, which is a great opportunity for the prices to start moving up. The momentum is starting to tip down just a little bit. So this one is actually almost, I believe it is tracking. So it is in convergence. So we see the MACD moving up here. We see the price point from here moving pretty much up, maybe flat a little bit, but it is in convergence, so it is wanting to jump off track, so to speak. And so I think at 149.45 is a great opportunity to get into this one this week, catching on the lower band of this progression line here. Then by Friday, potentially somewhere around 149.01 to 153.33, somewhere around 5 to 2.5% by Friday. Definitely could hold this one a little longer. It is going to come back and attack this 180-day SMA, so it's still below where it wants to be. So a lot of opportunity still with advanced auto parts, I believe, even for the long term. So that's my call out for advanced auto parts is 149.45. That's what your call out for advanced auto parts this week.
Yeah, for me, I got 143.44.
143.44. Okay.
Looking at it from a long term, I don't see why you just won't get a few here now and just wait. But and daily cost average down if it goes between there just to get in. But
Okay. Any concern about it being having an earnings report next week to maybe hold off?
oh yeah, I didn't know it was next week. Yeah, I would just wait until earnings probably just in case. Well, honestly though, it's hard to say. I mean, from as high at what 244.55. I mean, it's already beaten down what 38%. So I would say if you bought something, I wouldn't buy a heavy position.
Yeah.
Equity wise.
Okay. So definitely something you would take a look at potential in your opinion. Does have pretty
Yeah,
good dividends. Dollar
yeah, it pays what $6 annually.
$1.50 every quarter. So yeah, not bad on dividends.
Mm-hmm.
And it is showing profit on earnings. Looks like 374 per share, 284 on the last earnings report. So okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
solid.
that's solid. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a solid company, I think. All these cars in the world, man, it's gonna always need parts.
Hey, even Tesla got to have brakes.
True, true.
All right. Moving on to the next one. So I'm coming down the list a little bit, and I've got Propetro coming in flat trend this week at 11 cents on sale. True value of $9.85. So I've got it in as a short-term trade, buy sell option. Looking at pump again is the ticker. And so I'm not going to go through the 1 year, 1 day on this one because I've been calling this one out a couple times. We called out last week, matter of fact. And so look at last week. Daz, you had 825. I had 910. It did not come down to our price point at all last week. Came down past true value. Value pretty much stayed below true value most of the week. See some resistance on the 8-day Williams Alligator resistance here. And then actually on the blue as well, 13-day EMA, we see a resistance on Friday. Really touching off on this 180-day SMA, as you see on this green line here. It came above and pulled back a few weeks ago, and we see it touch off twice last week and show resistance on the 180-day SMA. So I still think there's some opportunity getting into Propetro. I'm gonna raise my price target from 910 to 920 this week. Think there's some opportunity still there. Like the momentum is definitely pointing in a great direction. MACD is also showing that the sign that it wants to pull back up. And just real quick, let's see if this one is in convergence. So this one starts to pull up here, from here to here. This one will be actually, it's actually in divergence now. So you see as this pulls up. So if I draw a line here to here, just a real quick tip here. See that pull up, and then if we go here and this pulls down, it's just showing the price in divergence. And once it goes into convergence, once this goes up and this goes up, this is when we see the price begin to take off. And so that's what we want to look for. Is we want to see stocks in divergence and going into convergence. So that's a good kind of tip to look for. So that's why I like this one again this week. So 920 is my price point for Propetro, and we see some earnings reports coming in the next couple of weeks. So it's looks like 2 weeks out. So 920 is my call out. That's what your call out for Propetro this week.
I'm just gonna keep my same price target.
825.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep the same. I'll just be patient and wait on that one.
Okay. All right. Next on the list, got quite a few this week, so trying to take too long on these. So I got Sunpower coming in as a long-term play, trend of a flat trend of zero coming in this week, 22 cents over price at $17.29 true value. So Sunpower is a company that I don't believe we've ever called out, scanned it for a while. But I will say, looking at this one on a 1 year, 1 day, that's a pretty nice pattern. So looking at the cake band, we see how it goes in and out, in and out, in and out the cake band. So it definitely has a great pattern to kind of play off of. It had a low of 1278 on May 12th of last year. And you see from there, it pulled up to 2842 on September 12th. And then again, it was way too high, pulled back down. And so we see this one has an earnings report, it looks like early next week. So definitely something to be aware of. You look at the SMA here, it's pretty much almost flat. That just tells you the balance of the wavelengths and the balance of the trades that investors are kind of timing this with. And so looks like a great opportunity. I would say anywhere below this cake band can almost time this one to go above. So I think at this point this week does seem like a little bit of a pullback on the MACD, but you do see the convergence lines below the midpoint. So still some opportunity here. The MACD showing a little bit of sign below, pointing down. I do see some resistance on the 13-day EMA as well. So I think at 1590 is a great price point to catch this one based off the last manipulation point that has not been covered, which was on the 27th of January. Again, something to be aware of, it does have an earnings report next week on the 15th. But at 1590, I feel very comfortable getting in there. And by Friday, if you did want to get out by Friday, 1678, which is 5%, to about 1781, which is about 11 to 12% by Friday. So not a bad opportunity. Again, this one could hold longer. You could average down some more after next week, and definitely hold this one to rise back up into higher potential. So that's my call out for Sunpower this week is 1590. That's what your call out for Sunpower.
Yeah, for me, I got down 1601, and I'm just playing off a little bit of support on the 4-hour chart.
Okay, 1601. What's your thoughts on this company? You ever bought any Sunpower before?
No, this is also a new one for me. So
Okay. I can't remember if I bought it. Again, I know I've scanned it for a couple of years. I can't remember if I've bought any or not. If I did, I didn't hold it very long at all. So I can't remember. So we'll see if it comes down to price this week for me. All right, next on the list is Electronic Arts, comes in at a flat trend, $6.21 on sale, true value of $120.13. And so let's look at Electronic Arts. Of course, that is a video game company. Anyone plays video games, they've heard of EA Sports and Electronic Arts. And so let's look at real quick 1 year, 1 day. Again, another similar stock as we looked at with Sunpower previously. This one has a great pattern here. You see anywhere below this cake band, and it wants to pull right back up into it. And so we see a low of 109.24 when stock was manipulated back on 510 after on the day or after earnings report, where they reported a shortfall on the earnings of 80 cents when they were expected to report $1.04 on the earnings. And so you see the manipulation there, then immediately it takes off to 142.79 on June 3rd. So we see from that low, that high in 24 days, you see 30% return on your investment. So it's pretty significant. And so from there, it did pull back down, of course, as you would expect. And then we see this kind of pattern in and out the cake zone, as I call it. And so we see very similar again. They did have a shortfall in their earnings. They were expected to have a $2.62 report. Actually came out to 73 cents on their earnings report last week. So great opportunity here. We see, again, the price was very manipulated the day after. So we see 14 million shares at on February 1st trading around, let's see, 113, 112 to a high of 117. Very next day, we see 6 million shares traded anywhere between 117 to 114. And then we see on Friday, even more at 4 million shares. We see even more manipulation coming in, trading from 115 to 113. So again, uncovered manipulation is great opportunity to play off of. 112.82 is a great price point for me. Again, this is something that seems like a great pattern stock to play off of. Definitely could hold this one. It does have dividends, 19 cents paying out on the 28th. So this one's definitely a good opportunity. MACD starting to pull back, and then we see the momentum as well pulling back. And so this one is definitely on the potential of being crossing here. It pulls back even more. You could see, you could say this one is definitely tracking. It's already on track. So it's already converged. And so it's actually trying to jump off track currently. So 112.82 is a great price point for me this week. That's what you going. Where are you going with EA Sports this week?
Yeah, this one's a little hard, but I put down 110.
What'd you say?
This right here was a little hard, but I put down 110. I don't think it's gonna get there this week though.
110. Okay. 110 even.
Yeah, 110 even.
Okay. Ever bought any EA Sports? Or I say EA Sports, EA?
Nah, I haven't. No.
Okay. I don't.
It does look like it's pretty like undervalued recently though. It had earnings and dropped that much on this daily.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It dropped
A lot.
yeah, so actually before earnings, it was trading around 129 to 128, and then it dropped all the way down to Friday. In 3 days, it dropped 12%. So I don't think it's gonna get much cheaper than that, but hey, if it does, I think still it's a good one. So
you long term though, it wouldn't be a bad place to start a position right here.
exactly. I agree with
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Next on the list, on down. So 3M. So 3M comes in at a -2 trend, so it's slightly trending down. $1.33 on sale. True value of 118.82. Don't typically like to call out stocks trending down, but the charts look really good. We called out 3M last week, and so let's look at what I'm seeing on 3M. So 3M last week, And let's look at this one a little closer. I got real close last week on this one, Daz. I think you call that 108.38. I called out 112.22. Let's look at how close it came to my price point. Made me mad, honestly. I had my alert set right at 112.22. It came down to a low of 112.38. And you see that turnaround it made all the way to Friday, came right in the zone where I expect it to be. So if you held it all the way to Friday at the low, that was about 4%, came to a high of about 7% in 2 days. So definitely some opportunity still with 3M this week. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to move my price point up just a little higher this week. So I'm going to go in at 112.89 this week on 3M. I like what I'm seeing in the MACD. I'm sorry, the MACD looks like it's starting to get a little closer to a pull up. You see the momentum as well pulling up. And so definitely see the volume has been ticking up the last couple of weeks. And so I think at 112.89, it's pretty low. It's in a wave count of -2 on the monthly. So a lot of opportunity for this one to pull back up. So I really like this one long term. So I'm going in 3M at 112.89 this week. That's what you call out for 3M this week. That's your mute.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah, I was sticking with my previous target at 108.38.
Wait, 38. Okay.
I'm just going to wait.
All right. Next on the list, going down pretty low. Again, this one is a -6 trend, so this one's trending down pretty bad. And so it's 52 cents on sale, 44.59 true value. But if you look at the charts on Pfizer, this one's just hard to not want to look for this one to turn around this week. And so, let's go back in history on Pfizer. We have called out Pfizer quite a few times. And so let's look at the pattern here when we called it out. So called out Pfizer back on March 9th, came down a price point here at 47.49, immediately turned around that week and the following week to a high of 56.32. Again, we called out Pfizer on the week of 5/17. Did not come to price point, did not come to true value. It stayed strong and blew past all the price points that we called out. So again, on 7/5, we called out Pfizer, came down to price point at 50.40 and turned around that week as well. To Friday, turned around pretty good. Then it pulled back the following week. We called out Pfizer again on September 21st. Got my price point at 45.10. I don't think, Daz, you were on with me that call. This one came down a price on Monday, fell through all the way down to 41.45, and then turned right back around, and it took off for the next couple months, actually. So you see this pattern here with Pfizer. It's hard not to call it out. It's below the cake zone. A lot of good opportunity here. Did just have earnings report, and this one does pay dividends and pays 40 cents per share. Earnings report back in October was really good at 178 on an estimate of 147. Just had recent earnings report and had earnings report of a 103 estimate on an actual of 114. And so we see this pattern here. We see good earnings report. I see a cross up here on the MACD, which is a really good sign. I see the momentum pulling up, which is another really good sign. You just see everything really in alignment here. I think it could be a little resistance here, possibly Monday, Tuesday. You get in at 43.02 is a great price point. Even if you want to get out by Friday, I think you can get out somewhere around 44.20 to 45.33, so anywhere between 5 and 3% by Friday. Man, this one's just a really good one this week. 43.02 is my price point for Pfizer. That's what your call out for Pfizer this week.
For me, I got down 43.24.
Ooh, close. Keeping me
Yeah,
honest. Keeping me honest on here.
yeah. I'm just playing a little bit of support from, I think that's like November.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, October. Really, that's 43.30. Okay, sorry, 43.30. I actually got it wrong.
43. All
I
right.
got it wrong.
Okay. So playing off of some of this support here, potentially. She's about 40, 43.51. So that's a little higher if you're doing that. So, okay. Anywhere in that range, man. Hey, I like it. So,
Yeah, even if even if you hold it for a little while, Pfizer will go up.
all right. So let's do a couple like it, love it, lose it, and kind of already jumped the gun on these. Some of these actually I was planning on calling out, but I pulled back because of some reasons I'll explain here in a minute. So let's look at CVS. And so CVS has an earnings report this week. Um, I really love the current price of CVS at 85.77. I do think it could get a little lower, but 85.77 with CVS. I'm looking at what I'm seeing in the charts. I'm gonna go ahead and love that price. I like what I'm seeing in the MACD and the momentum. The only reason I don't like it is because of earnings report, but 85.77, the current price, I love it.
I like it. I want to say I love it.
Okay. All right. Let's look at another one I want to pull out, and this one's a company called Chegg. I know it's a wild card company, very, very much a wild card. This one's got earnings reporting out tomorrow. But man, you look at, I'm just gonna look at this one real quick. And so I pulled uh pulled it together and I couldn't even come up with a price point. I really liked it 2051. I got my alert set at 2051. I also like it again at 1998. The MACD looks really good, like it's about to cross up. Momentum looking really strong. It's definitely in what I call it's in divergence. And so if this all crosses up, this one's going to take off, in my opinion. Again, earnings report is tomorrow, so you could see maybe a little pullback first before it takes off. But really like this one. I would say as far as like it, love it, lose it. I like the price currently at 21.34. I don't love it because I think I can get it in a little cheaper. So I'm gonna go like on Chegg.
Yeah, I'm losing it.
He said nope.
Yeah, yeah. I could be wrong, but I'm losing it.
Okay. All right. Next is Canon, another company I was really liking this week, but I think price point's just really too hard to call. It had so much manipulation last week. So I'm gonna say I don't love the price here. I really love it down here. But I wouldn't say I lose it here either. So I'll go with like on Canon at this price point of 22.22. It's right above the cake zone. So I really would like it much cheaper. So I'll love it much cheaper. So I'm gonna go with like. What do you say on Canon, Daz?
I have to lose it. I don't. Yeah, I probably would not buy it until maybe like 21. 21.20.
21.28 is where I have my price point. 21.28 exactly.
Yeah, it's like I probably wouldn't. Then I'll consider it after that, but not right now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put my alert 21.28. Just see what it does there, but I think some potential on this one for sure. Okay, all right, man. Appreciate you joining me this week, man.
If you don't
go ahead,
mind,
go
look,
ahead.
like a love or lose Carnival right now.
Oh yeah,
That's
let's do the Carnival.
that's a sleeper.
Let's see. Man, look how many price points we caught out for this one last year. I looked at it lately, so I'm losing it. I don't like
Yeah,
that team.
same here. It's too high to me now.
Way too high. It was on a run though, man. Look at this.
Oh yeah, I know. That's when I was playing those. I told you about those calls.
Yeah, look at that. 13 days in a row, rolling 36, almost 37%.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I know a couple subscribers that are heavy in Carnival, so that they would
Okay.
love to see our analysis on that. But yeah, I would say it is definitely overpriced. Definitely has some opportunity to pull back. But it's looking good from well, I won't say it's looking good. To be honest with you, the MACD doesn't look good to me, and the momentum doesn't look good right now. So definitely would brace for a little bit of a pullback for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Thanks for pulling that one up, man. I hadn't we hadn't looked at Carnival in a while. We was on this one pretty hard for let's see, like July, August, all
Yeah.
these $7, $8, $9 ranges. Then it fell to 6.11, and then it's really turned out. So, all right, man. Again, I appreciate you joining me this week, and we'll keep bringing it to the audience. And thanks for all the new subscribers. Again, if you could like, share, and subscribe with anyone likes technical analysis and me and Daz, and gonna keep bringing you the best we got, man, and keep showing and proving, what we do and how we do it. So again, thank you for joining. Good luck trading this week.